Today I'm going to be reviewing the Naughty and Nice line from Fresh Monkey Fiction, the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Santa Claus line that everybody's been waiting about a year now to get. I started receiving these last week. I think a bunch of people should have them in their hands by now. They've already announced the next wave for next year, which all look amazing. Like I said, link in the description if you would like to go and check any of those out. But today we're going to be talking about the Pirate Santa. There is a lot to love about these figures. There is a bit of a drawback to some of them. I'm not overly familiar with Fresh Monkey Fiction as a toy line or as a toy creator. They do a lot of 1/18th scale, and that's just not the size that I collect. I do more 1/12 or 6-inch scale. I think the limited articulation to these, or I shouldn't say limited, but the choices for articulation are very obviously housed in the 1/18th mentality for making action figures. There's a lot of really good here, though. The figures articulate about as much as you need Santa Claus to articulate, for lack of a better description. They are very obviously toy lovers and toy creators. They make sure to implement things that people love. Primarily, the hand that I've got here on Santa Claus, it is a trigger finger, but it has vertical hinge. It is the only hand that this comes with that has that, but that's just proof that they know what they're doing. They're familiar with what the toy collector community cares about. I'm going to start by talking about the packaging, just ever so briefly. It is exactly the Marvel Legends packaging. It even comes with a peg hook at the top here, which is interesting for a fan channel exclusive. Whatever. You get the name of the collection at the front. You get the name of the figure that you're getting on the top. You get a nice Christmas wrapping paper decal that is on both sides. Big Bad Toy Store, Fresh Monkey Fiction. Choking hazards on the bottom. Little no baby sign. The back is just a nice little look at the roster of figures. Most of the boxes seem to include a upcoming figure. Generic readout for that applies to all the Santas. There's nothing specific about Pirate Santa. No lore or anything with this. It also has a nice link to the bottom. Complete your Naughty or Nice collection at freshmonkeyfiction.com. So yes, if you go to freshmonkeyfiction.com's website, there will be a link to Big Bad Toy Store that then you can purchase these from Big Bad Toy Store. They're not available on freshmonkeyfiction.com. Just full disclosure, putting that out there. Okay, so we're going to start by looking at all of the accessories that come with Pirate Santa. Pirate Santa comes with a sack. It's pretty great for storage of all of the things that he comes with, plus all of the things that any of the other Santas that you get will come with. That's just great to have. He comes with a cutlass, which nicely painted, has a nice hand wrap going around it. See if I can get this thing to focus. Focus on the sword. Focus on the sword. There it is. Yeah. So it's got a nice hand wrap, nice brown hand wrap, nice shine to it. It's very good. The hilt, when it's in his hand, it is gonna run into the cuff a little bit, if you can see that. So yes, there's a vertical hinge on the grip hand or on the trigger finger hand, but it immediately runs into the cuff. So take that as it will. He comes with, talking about hands, he comes with 3 complete pairs of hands, 1 candy cane hook, and 2 single right-handed. Talking about the hands a little bit here, all of the hands down here have horizontal hinges. The candy cane hook does not have a hinge that I can tell. I can't really get it out of there. You can try to apply heat, maybe wedge it out with a screwdriver or something like that. I don't want to do that because the candy cane hook has a nice shine going on here and I don't want to scuff that up at all. But this hook is fairly flexible, so it's the only thing that you can pull on, and I just don't want to break it on accident. But the hands, the regular hands, You get a nice amount of vertical movement here. It's a perfect sphere on the inside, or a perfect circle on the inside. So same thing with the horizontal hinges. They are a pain to get in and out, though. There is it's actually kind of funny to look at. There's a single hole at the bottom of this spherical cuff, and the hand pretty easily runs into it. It's not a big deal if it's just the hand, but if the hand's holding anything, it'll run into the end of the cuff. But it also makes it really difficult to pull the hand out of there because you can't get your finger down around the base of the hand, so you end up like pulling on Santa's hand. But I've been able to get them pretty easily in and out if you apply heat. I have a heat gun here, so that's what I use for that. The skin tone is just okay for the matchup between his face skin and his hand skin. It's nothing non-noticeable. The knuckles, the painting on them though is good. These are the hands that I would have wanted with a Santa Claus. The black paint on the gloved hands is a little flaky. I've had little pieces of it flake off. Maybe that's just coming from the joint or something like that, but I have had little black flakes that I've had to wipe off. So just look out for that. Careful with the hands is what I'm saying. I haven't broken any of them on any of the Santa Clauses yet, but I could see somebody doing that. He also comes with a nice treasure map, a pirate-themed stocking that is not hollow. It is just one solid chunk of plastic. He comes with a Christmas present, as does every Santa. They all come with a Christmas present. His has skull and crossbones on it, red ribbon. He comes with the lump of coal sculpt, but it's painted gold, so it's little lumps of gold, which is fun. Nice thing you can do with the not the candy cane, the stocking is you can pretty easily sit the gold on top or have it just kind of stacked up in there. And that'll, look like it's full of gold or coal, depending on which figure we're talking about. He also comes with a nice tricorn hat, shaped to the inside of Santa's head, so it can sit either this way, which is historically accurate, or the way everybody recognizes pirate hats, one way or another. They also all come with a nice Naughty and Nice stand, which is useful, especially for peg leg, because he hasn't fallen over yet, but obviously it's a peg leg, so it can be kind of maybe a balancing situation depending on the poses that you want to get him into. Now that the accessories are out of the way, let's talk about the articulation. I started already talking about the hands a little bit. I won't neg on those anymore. I will say the candy cane, it being a peg, you can spin it around in there a little bit. If you can get a little bit of traction on the ball there, you can spin it around in place. Top to bottom, the heads are the same as Mythic Legions. If you're familiar with the Mythic Legions, it is just a ball at the top of the neck, which allows for very limited articulation, pretty much solely dictated by the facial hair that your Santa Claus has. He can look down, he can look down that much until the beard runs into it. He can look up about that much. You can lean him back a little bit to look further up, or lean him forward a bit to look further down. You get a little bit of tilt, not a crazy amount of tilt, just a little bit. The shoulder joint is a disc hinge and peg, so it'll come straight up. It'll spin around in its socket. It is limited by the wrinkles in the coat, of course. Just about every major joint in here is dictated by that. The arms will come up to about 90, a little less than, and it will swivel on inside there as well, so you can get him patting his bowl full of jelly. The torso joint, no ab crunch or anything like that. It is just one solid piece, so it's I think it is it's a stick with a ball going up into the torso, so you can get him leaning forward about that much, leaning back about that much, side to side, and then you can get him to do full 360. It is tight though, so maybe don't do that too often. Down to the legs, it is a regular hip joint setup, so he can kick straight out to the side, he can kick forward that much, he can kick back that much. There is a thigh swivel. My peg leg one is kind of stuck though. This one's all kinds of loose and is totally fine, so the leg can go all the way around that way. You have like the Star Wars Black Series setup where it's a single jointed knee. The pants kind of wrinkle in front to not show the joint too much, but that gives him a little less than 90 kickback. He can go back a little bit and get all the way to 90, or 90 to the rest of the figure anyway. He's got no swivel at the boot, but swivel at the knee, swivel at the knee above the peg leg, no articulation in the peg leg for obvious reasons, and then foot articulation where he can get that far back, that far forward, so not very much, and then forward facing pin for rocker. So stay. And this is what I was talking about with the peg leg. It's a peg leg. It's, you know, stability is stability. Okay, now we're going to talk about the real draw to these figures, and that is the paint applications, the sculpts, and just the artistic view of it. The engineering is so-so, but the art design and style and goofiness and everything about these figures, it's the reason why people are wanted to get these figures. So let's begin with the head sculpt here, which it'll probably be easier if I just take it off and show. It's spectacular. I love it. The little grimace face, the bandana, the eye patch, the individual hairs. It's got a little bit of a wash going on there, so it really adds the definition to all the different layers of the hair. The little green beads in it, they didn't miss. It's so great. The ears, it even has an earring there if it'll focus. Yeah, a little earring. No paint on that earring, but I had to check outside of the camera to verify there. Tie in the back for the bandana, just with great wrinkles and a little bit to bring out the shadow there. Just great black shine on the eye patch. Sorry, I'm admiring it as I'm doing this. Not certain if they're using photoreal for the eyes or anything like that, but I'd have to imagine that they are with how good that looks. That, or maybe they're just really talented. You get the teeth, a good distinction, no real bleed over. What I really appreciate is, though, with all the white and all the gray and everything like that, you don't have very much bleed on the head sculpt from the red, from the skin, from the lips, from the black. It's all very clean. So I appreciate that. It's very good looking. I could stare at this thing all day. After I opened them up, I did stare at them for just hours, just messing around with them, as you do. Next we'll talk about the torso paint. Again, you have that shading to bring out the wrinkles, the white here, this fur part. I think it's actually like an inlaid part. You can kind of see the crease or the gap there where it would get inlaid into the torso. So these were painted completely separately, so no bleed over at all going on there. It's fantastic. And it really gives a different level of definition to the coat. The cuffs are not the same situation. They were, it looks like they were all part of the same sleeve. So, but still, great distinction, or great, no slop between the red paint and the white, which I was kind of worried about, if I'm being completely honest, because of how diametrically opposed those things are. Moving down to the belt. The metal on the belt is fantastic. The metal on the belt loops is fantastic. On the buckle, on whatever this part of the belt is called, you can see the definition on the belt, the leather looking it's so good. They did such a good job on the texture. It looks outstanding. The seam kind of fades away too. Like there is a seam here, but you can't really tell that there's a seam there. It's great. We'll talk about the candy cane here actually while I've got it there. Even the candy cane, it looks delicious. It's great. The shine on the metals is spectacular. It all just goes together really well, and it's like this is Santa in a pirate outfit. He has the longer bottom of the coat, or I guess longer coat in general. There is the only place, and like you can't really see it if you put a light on it, but there is a little bit. We'll look at it from the side. That's the easiest way to explain this. So the entire thing is red. Very soft plastic, by the way. The entire thing is red. So underneath the white, it was already red. And because of that, you get kind of a reddish hue going on there. Much more egregious in hand than it is over video or over model or anything like that. Can't really say much about that. It's exactly what I expected. Truth be told, I expected this level of bleed for the rest of the figure. So seeing that it's only on this and only on the Pirate Santa, they spoiled us. I don't know. It's great. You get the little bit of shading to give the effect of wrinkles and everything going on there. The shine to that leathery boot and the buckles and the painted buckle notches. It's belt loops on the boot are just great. That black shine. I mean, my light's only giving is really drawing that out. It's a great paint. You have the metal to the peg leg, and you have a little bit of a wood grain going on with the peg leg, and it's great. It's great. They did great with the paints and with the sculpts and everything. I do want to talk about the level of reuse that exists in this line, because reuse is the name of the game when it comes to this Naughty and Nice line. Get as many different looks out in the same body as you can. Because of that, you will experience the same levels of articulation across the board, but there's a funny part, and there's no better way to explain it than just saying, like, all of the Santas come with a plug on their butt. So you'll have here, that is a plug up for the hole that would go on the Krampus figure to give him a tail. So that is just a reality of these Santa figures. They all come with a plug on their butt. Butt plug aside, sculpt, paint, 10 out of 10. Fantastic figures when it comes to that perspective and that level of detail. Really looking forward to the designs for next year. Alright, time for scaling these. I said that they were 6-inch figures, and that is fairly true. He is about just under 6.5 inches tall. And that means that he sizes well with your Marvel Legends figures. He is appropriately scaled to go with this year's Figure Obscura Mythic Legion's Father Christmas. He seems also appropriately sized to hang out with any other pirate plunderlings that you might have. So that'll do it for the Pirate Santa Fresh Monkey Fiction Naughty and Nice Big Bad Toy Store exclusive words figure. These were the only other pirate figures that I had in my collection, so I'm slapping them together, and that's how this display is going to work for me.